So costing graph here again, right? And the axes haven't even been labelled for us this time. So I usually put cost here on the vertical axis, okay? That's the best place to put the cost. And here we're going to have number of people, okay? Now, the number of people, well, they want us to draw a graph to illustrate the total cost for holding the prom for between 20 and 80 people. So you could start at 0 if you wanted to, but because they actually want it just between 20 and 80 people, I'm actually going to start at 20, okay? Work my way up to 80. I think the only way I can do that is if I go up in 20s. That's the only way it's going to fit in. So I've got a uniform scale, okay, and I stop there then at 80. So I'm only going to use part of the graph. In terms of the costing, I'm going to do a little bit of working out here, a bit of calculations, because the room cost £100, okay, that's like a one-off cost, and then each person then, okay, has to pay this, don't they, for food, drink and decorations, okay, that adds up to £20, I think, when you add that up, so that's for each extra person then, so to speak. Okay, so if you've got 20 people, then it's going to be 20 lots of £20, okay, which well, of course that'll be 400, won't it, because 2 times 2 is 4, add the zeros, so that's £400 for 20 people, okay, so that's going to be the minimum sort of cost for 20 people then, but don't forget, of course, then plus then you've got to add on the hire of the room, which is £100. So the least cost is going to be £500 for 20 people. The biggest cost is going to be if 80 people go to the prom, okay? So for 80 people, well, each of those people have got to pay £20 for the food and drink and so on. It's 80 lots of 20, while 8 times 2 is 16, and 2 zeros to add on. So that'll be £1,600 just for 80 people for all of these things here. But don't forget as well, of course, then adding on that £100 for the room hire. So the total cost will actually be £1,700 there. Okay, so we want a scale that goes up to 1,700. And I think looking at it, we could just go up in, if we start at 0, go up in 500 then for each block. I think that's the safest way to do it. The scale's got to be consistent. Okay. So we start off with the least amount of people going to the party, to the prom, and there's 20 people. The cost will be £500. Okay, so that £500 accounts for the food and stuff, plus then the room hire. So you've got a point there on the graph, and then if 80 people go, so we go across to 80. The cost will be £1,700. So 1,700 will be there, won't it? Okay, because each 100 goes up 2 squares. So you just draw this, and we've got our costing line there, okay, for between 20 and 80 people. Now part B, it says Petra decides to share all the costs equally between the people attending. So we've got to write on a formula for this. And if you think about it, P now is the price paid per person. Well, each person's got to pay £20, haven't they? Essentially, they've got to pay £20 for the food, welcome drink, decorations. Okay, but she wants to share all the costs equally. So it's not just those 3 things, isn't it? What about the room hire? So you remember the room hire was £100. Okay, so she's going to share that amongst the number of people attending as well. So in terms of how much each people pay, well, if you think about it, that £100, you need to share it out, okay? You need to divide it, yeah, by how many people are attending. So there's n people attending, so you need to divide that by n, okay? And whatever that is, then you add it on to the 20 here, okay? And I'll give you the price that each person has to pay. So I'm going to add this on, and because it's a formula, instead of writing divide, I'm going to put it like as a fraction there. And there's my formula. Now, part C says, hiring a larger room at Hotel Abernwen costs £200. So it costs a bit more, doesn't it? And then the cost per person, per food, welcome drinks and so on remains the same. The total cost is 2,240. How many people attended? So what I do here is I take away the cost for the room. So we left with £2,040. So this then, £2,040, is going to pay for the food, welcome drinks, decorations. Okay, because I've taken account now for the room hire, I've taken that away from it. It's been paid for, so this is what's left for all of them. You remember, each person pays £20 for them combined, so I just need to see how many £20 are in here, and that will give me then how many people we've got. So if I divide by 20, now the zeros will cancel nicely, and then we've got 204 divided by 2, so I get 102. I put pounds, but it's not pounds, and it's how many people are attending, so it's 102 people.